Yo, what's going on? This Nick, BC, bringing the business. Check out this episode and don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, comment, like, and share this episode. We coming at you with another hot episode, so check us out.
My question is, would you rather be more athletic than skilled or more skilled than athletic? Which one would you rather be? And it's got to do it can go with basketball, football, whatever. Which one would you rather be?
Uh, I think that I would rather be more skilled because I think after a while you lose athleticism. What's going on, bro? I think after a while you lose the athleticism, and that will hurt your game a whole lot. Than being, you know what I'm saying? I think that'll hurt your game more if you just relying on athleticism. I'm gonna give you an example of somebody.
Hmm.
You remember Stromae Swift?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody like that. That was one of the most athletic bigs in the world. What happened to him? You know what I'm saying? How he fall off like that? You remember
Hmm.
um uh what's my man name played for Denver? Uh uh you know what I'm talking about, the Dread.
But dreads?
Dread. He played for Denver. He
Are you
even
talking
went to
about
the he
Keith Fareed or something? Kenneth Fareed
yeah,
from
Kenneth Fareed.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
people like that, once the athleticism slacks a little bit or whatever like that, then your career almost over.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Your career is almost over. But then you take players like a John Stockton or somebody like that who's not the most athletic guy, but they skilled and they smart and they can go on to play 20 years and carve out a Hall of Fame career.
Right.
So I
Now,
think to answer your question, I would
mhm.
rather be more skilled.
And I agree with you because I was listening to Gil's Arena, and Gilbert was talking about how Kobe wasn't super athletic. You know what I'm saying? He had to have secondary moves, third moves, counters to everything. And I'm like, but he's talking about himself. Well, he's like, my first move, I got past you. I said, yeah, okay. But when you lost that first move, you was out the league.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So okay, which you talking about it like you trying to talk about Kobe to the point where he had to develop all these moves to be able to score and all like, but you didn't need all these moves to score. I said, yeah, but one, he one of the greatest players to ever play the game, and he was skilled, and his career lasted longer than yours because he was more skilled.
Look
You know what
at
I'm saying?
look at and this ain't even one of my favorite players, but look at Chris Paul. That's
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. He able to stick around.
yeah, yeah. That's why I wanted to ask you that because it's something that, I was gonna put it up on a thing as a short and just ask them or whatever. But then again, I'm like, man, I want to talk about it with you. I mean, because I can always just put the recording out, right? It ain't got to be, so it can
Huh.
just be a
Yeah,
recording.
and so see, but we've had this conversation over and over again. What is skill though?
I
Like
mean,
we had that conversation. Like
yeah,
what is skill? Because especially that word is thrown around a whole lot um, nowadays. These players are more skilled, or this person is the most skilled, and all that. Like, what is that? Because I guess when you initially ask the question, athleticism or whatever, it's skill. At that point, what comes to my mind at that point is more like fundamentally sound.
right.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So that's kind of what comes to my mind, like being fundamentally sound. And so if that's what we talking about when we talking about skill, then I think I would rather again have the skill and the fundamentals over the athleticism.
And I agree and I agree because that's what we talking about when we talking about skills. We're not really, because you would say, man, Kyrie is the most skilled point guard or whatever like that. I would say that may be accurate because he has multiple ways of being able to get to the rim and finish, or saying stuff like that. Okay, yes, I'm not saying that translates to championships, or it translates to him being like the all great, the greatest point guard. But you can say that he has multiple moves to score, multiple moves to get around somebody, multiple moves to manipulate a defense. You know what I'm saying? He does have that. Now, okay. But like, do that translate into, he gonna take his team to the finals every year? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? Probably not. But I would say this though. I think with his skill level, like you said about a Kobe, like you said about a you said Chris Paul, I say like a Tim Duncan, their career is gonna last longer. Like no, you said John Stockton, but those their
Yeah,
career is
but I
gonna
mean,
last
but they
longer.
all on the same. They all on the same level, right? I said Stockley, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you would even look at like somebody like who they might consider right now the greatest center to ever play, Jokic. He's
Joker,
not
yeah,
super athletic,
athletic,
but he's but
yeah,
he but he's skilled though. His skill level is
yeah.
off the chain.
You know, I've seen people use in different sports. I've seen people use your athleticism against you or your think about let's go to boxing. Think about a Muhammad Ali.
Hmm.
He's gonna use your athleticism and your super aggressiveness and all that, and he's gonna pick you apart with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
he gonna let you use all that. Look how he did George Foreman. George Foreman is one of the most powerful boxers they say it is, as far as hard hitting and all this, that, and the other. And Ali picked that shit apart, man.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He used his skills or his fundamental, you know what I'm saying, whatever like that. Not saying he wasn't an athlete too, but he used that against him and picked that man apart with that shit, man.
Same thing. Well, you can say same thing with Floyd.
Right. Yep. Yes, sir.
You
Floyd was,
say,
man, you perfect. Yeah. That's a
yeah,
perfect example. You're
yeah,
100% correct.
yeah. You say same thing with Floyd, because Floyd would, as far as his skill level was off the chain of how he
Right.
manipulated fights and how he uses defense and stuff. Like he was super skillful. Like, but was he knocking everybody out? No, he wasn't knocking everybody out, but he was out. He was outboxing everybody though.
Okay. I'm going to give you one that we don't like to hear.
Crazy.
Um, Tyson couldn't beat Holyfield.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? And we know how athletic and and powerful and all that Tyson was. It seemed like Holyfield would just pick him apart.
Yeah,
He's more of a boxer.
yeah, you're right. So would you say this then? Do skill beat athleticism all the time?
No,
Okay.
because think about especially when you talking linemen or when you talking a 7 footer in basketball. What's one of the first things you hear coaches say? Can't teach size,
Yeah.
or you can't teach speed, or you can't. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to poo-poo or act like athleticism or you know what I'm saying, physical gifts or whatever like that are not important. That's not what I'm saying at all because that shit is important too. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, shit, you can't teach that shit. You can't teach size. You can't teach speed. You can't teach that. But like I say, what do you do when you lose a step?
Right.
Or when you lose, you know what I'm saying? Some of that type of stuff. Then you're supposed to rely on your skills.
Exactly.
It
Nah.
was it was more guys, and not he was a fucking athlete too. Don't get me wrong, freak athlete. But it was guys more athletic than Mike.
Yeah.
You
I
know what
I,
I'm
wa- I
saying?
want to say
But
what's the name? Dominique was athletic.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? Oh yeah, a lot of them guys are more athletic than Mike. And not because Mike was a freakish athlete too, so they're not saying he wasn't, but man, like when it came down to it, man, Mike was so skilled, man.
Yeah, yeah. His
You
game
know what I'm saying?
evolved as he got older.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
yes. And see, that's right now. I think I told you this. I'm not sure if I told you this, but I know I've had this conversation. It's time. Like if he do it now, he'll be so much better. You know how we talk about Mike and Kobe Young went to that post game as they got older
Hmm.
when the athleticism waned a little bit. I think Ant-Man needs to go to that shit now.
He could, yeah, he should.
At 23, go get it now.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? With everything else he got, if he get that game, if he gets that post and that turnaround and that all of that stuff, if he get that now, man, ain't gonna be dangerous, bro.
But who got it right now though? SGA.
Say,
That you know what I'm saying? He got it.
right? Hey, you see what he doing? So that's why I say Ant needs to go get that right now. Don't wait till you 30.
Yeah.
Because you got everything else, you can shoot the three ball, you can get to that cup, but when all that stuff ain't falling or, this man, you got something else to rely on.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why Kobe, I think even before Kobe athleticism went away, he went to that post up. He's seen it already. He studied it from Mike. He went to Akeem to
Right.
study Akeem's
Correct.
footwork and all that stuff. He was putting all that stuff in his game even before his athleticism started to go away. And, I mean,
Yep.
and I kind of agree with Gilbert in the sense that Kobe's first step probably wasn't the quickest first step. It probably, you know what I'm saying? Probably wasn't. But he had secondary and third moves and fourth, he had counters to everything that which is why wouldn't you teach that? Why wouldn't you want to learn that? Why would you just want to focus on I can get past everybody? So what happens if somebody is the thing like you're not gonna be faster than everybody. I don't care what league you are in. It's gonna be somebody at your speed or faster than you somewhere.
And you gotta slow down.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying? Father Time is undefeated. You gonna slow down, bro.
absolutely. Yeah, ain't nothing you can do about that.
Right. Ain't
Even
nothing you
right
can do
now,
about it.
look at it. So people are like, man, LeBron's still dunking. LeBron ain't dunking like he was in his 20s.
Heck you know.
He's still dunking, yeah. He ain't getting up as high as he was, you know what I'm saying, when he was in his 20s and 30s. I see it, it's clear as day. Because I think it was one time, what's the name, threw him a oop, right? And he looked like, man, I can't get up there no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
I
can't go
think,
get that.
yeah, Austin threw him one up. He looked up, I can't get up there high no more. Like, exactly.
And just the way the affect the game is different.
Oh, yeah.
Like right now, this past year, I think he was 20, 25, 7 and 7 or something like that. Man, 25, 7 and 17 years ago, man, he controlling the game totally. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, yeah,
that 27, 7 and 7 looks way different back then.
yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. And that,
You know what I'm
is like,
saying?
you affecting the game, but not like, you know,
Yeah,
yeah, I
you know
agree
what
with
I'm saying? Like so yeah, if all the time is undefeated, you're gonna slow down.
you. You're gonna slow down.
But if you build some skill into your game, or if you fundamentally sound and everything like that, that can prolong your career.
Yeah,
That can prolong your career. Why and just like to just go to some real life stuff or some wisdom stuff. They say like war is for young men and wise counsel is for old men.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Hmm.
if you in the country and it's going to war or whatever back then, the young motherfucker got to go because you just gonna go run and bull your way through some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But that old man gonna sit back and show you, man, no, young boy, do it this way or do it that way. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you gotta get you some skill now. You can't just rely on just You know what I'm saying? Athleticism and strength and all that all the time. You can't. Now
Yeah,
you familiar with I don't even know what the probably jiu-jitsu or what how you say that?
what?
Uh, the martial art.
Oh, jujitsu?
Jiu- Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
You know, that's one of them type of things where they use your own body weight, your own whatever momentum against you.
yeah. I don't know if it's
You know what I'm saying?
jujitsu, but I know it's one of them though.
But it might be, but you know what I'm saying though. It's
Hmm.
one of them that's like that, where you coming in all aggressive and I'm finna use your body weight and I'm finna hip toss your ass.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right. Hmm.
I'm finna use your own aggression and your own athleticism and your own all that. I'm finna use that against you.
Yeah.
Now think about this though. When we kids, or we high school or whatever like that, that athleticism is a damn good thing to have in, ain't
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
it?
Yeah, for sure. For
to
sure.
be the fastest motherfucker on the block or the strongest motherfucker or because we all grew up with that motherfucker who can jump off everything, who can flip, who can do it. We all grew up with a motherfucker like that.
Hmm. But I got a prime example for you. And on our football team, Nelson was the strongest, the fastest,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But and not to even like, talk about him like that, but everybody has surpassed him for the most part.
yeah. So
You
okay, so
you
I
peaked
wanna
too
ask you
early.
something. Hold on, I wanna ask you something even further then.
Okay.
Is a situation like that, and again, not to talk about him, because I love that little boy too. Man, he's a great kid, great person, and not just about him. Where does heart and factor come in?
Yeah. No,
And
that's a
work, heart, all that work ethic, all that. Where did that come in?
nah,
Because
that plays a
when
key
you no
part.
longer the when you no longer the biggest motherfucker, what you do then?
Yeah. Yeah. That makes a big difference. It makes a but it also got to do with your want to. Like, do you still want to do it? Because if you
Yeah,
don't still want to do it no more, then you're gonna accept like, okay, man, my time is just over with. But if it's something that you want,
but why though? Why like what causes like a kid like that? What causes a kid like that to lose the love for it at that age and shit like that?
because it ain't easy for them no more.
Yeah. Okay.
Some people
Okay.
is when it's easy, it's fun. But when it start to become
Okay.
work, it ain't fun no more.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you're not willing to
I
put that
told
work in.
I told you I think I ain't even say thing. I told you that's the problem with my daughter in that softball.
Hmm.
That shit hard.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? She got all the athletic ability in the world. She got skill because she's learning the game. But that shit hard, bro.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And she found volleyball, which is easier to her. So shit, I'm gonna just run over here to this.
yeah.
You know
But
what I'm saying? And that's the difference between her and my son. He don't mind the hard work. You know what I'm saying? He don't mind the grind.
right.
Like you say, everybody don't want that grind, bro.
Yeah, everybody ain't built
That
for it.
that that grind hurt.
Yeah. But the thing is this though, like especially with Kendall, talking about Kendall. If I'm you, I'm still putting it in there. If I'm you, I'm still taking her to training. Because I heard this from somebody before. For us, when we put our kids in sports, we thinking about they gonna go pro and stuff like that. We doing it for that reason. But when white people put their kids in sports, they understand that sports is teaching them life lessons about just being productive in life, being productive at work. So it's teaching them that. It's teaching them to don't quit. It's teaching them to persevere. It's teaching them those things. So it's like I'm keeping her in it because I'm letting her know life gonna be hard. So what you gonna do? Just give
Yes,
up,
sir.
quit that job, and go try to go somewhere where the job easy. Then when that job get hard, you're gonna go somewhere. You can't do that. You
Well,
know what I'm saying?
yeah, you
So
right.
so I'm gonna teach you now, at the age you are now, because when you hit real life and you get real bills, when you got family, you got your kids, mortgage, high note, you can't just up and just pick up and leave.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm keeping you in it for that reason. I understand you're gonna get upset and all that thing, okay. But in the long run, when I'm old and gray, and while I may be gone, you're gonna look back and say, man, this is what my daddy taught me. This is what my daddy made me go through. And I didn't understand it then, but I understand it now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? What's going on, man?
Man, and it's funny you saying that. I'm gonna send you some I'm gonna send you some tape. I had found well, I had it already, but I went and got me a DVD player, and I'm just looking at. I was sitting up last night looking at some of my old high school stuff,
Okay.
and man, them was some of the hardest times in my life from a physical and a mental standpoint. You know what I'm saying? The way our practices were and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you that. I'm gonna send you some film. And so it was like that shit true when they say you work hard and practice and the game will be easier.
Yeah.
Like, bro, we used to be dominating shit, man. And so I was sitting up, man, proud of myself looking back. I'm driving shit all the way up the field, bro. You know what I'm saying? And doing all that shit because, hell, this shit easy right here, man. Y'all just missed what we went through in practice this week.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, teaching hard work and all of that type of shit is huge, man.
So you talking about that. So I was on the phone with Nick. He
You
going to
say, well,
college
who?
on the phone with Nick.
Okay.
He going to college this year. So I was telling him, I said, you it's super easy. When you win, I said, no, that's what I said. I said, when you win, what do you learn when you win? If you winning all the time, what do you learn from that? He was like, "Well, nothing." I said, exactly. I'm like, but what do you got to look back on? You won. You not looking at no flaws or nothing like. I'm like, your lessons come from your losses.
Hell yeah.
That's where it comes from. You know what I'm saying? And I said, matter of fact, remember we was talking about, and I told you that I had snapped on him at the boom thing or whatever when he was a little kid.
Yeah.
How you doing? No problem. So I said, I had talked to him about that. I said, I brought the situation up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I do remember." At first, he didn't remember it. He said, "No, I remember." And. And I told him, I asked him, I said, "Why do you think I did that?" He's like, "Because I was letting people get in front of me, and I wasn't getting the amount of reps." I said, "No, that's not really why I did that, Nick." I said, "Of course, I want you to get your reps." I said, "I did it because I felt like you thought those people were better than you. But you sagged to the back to let those people that you felt was better than you get the reps." You know what I'm saying? I wanted to show you that nobody's better than you. You are just as good as everybody else out there. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want you to have in your a mentality of thinking that these people better than you, so I'm just gonna let them go before me. I'm a shade to the background. I said, no, I never ever wanted you to think like that. So I got mad. Maybe I handled it the wrong way, but I got mad because I was trying to show you, Nick, why are you letting these people get in front of you? These kids are not better than you. Get up there and show these kids what you have. I'm like, and if you fail, that's fine. If you don't do good on this rep, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do good at every rep. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but the thing is when you don't do good, learn from it. Why didn't you
Hell
why
yeah.
didn't you get around that person? You know what I'm saying? What happened? If you guarding somebody as playing a DB, why did that person beat you? Learn from your losses. And I told him, I said, when you go to school this year, find the best DB in practice, and you line up against that DB every practice.
Yep.
I said, will you lose some reps? Absolutely. I said, but you gonna win some too. And all you doing is you making yourself better and you making that DB better.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, don't shy away from the best person on the team. That's only gonna make you better.
Yep.
You
What
want to
you?
you want to go up against somebody who you gonna always win against. What's that's teaching you?
Yep, yeah, that ain't doing nothing for you.
You know,
That ain't doing nothing for you. You ain't learning no new techniques. You ain't, you know what I'm saying? None of that type shit. When you do that
because think about. I think we talked about this too. How did we learn how to play basketball?
outside,
That's not.
big
We just
mo,
played the game.
big motherfuckers pushing you around, telling you, "Man, gone," and you getting pumped and you getting whatever like that. So you like,
You know,
man,
so
fuck this.
working. Yeah. Um, we played the game. It's all of these trainings and all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying going on. That then I told Nick this too. I feel bad because I did him a disservice. I just putting him through trainers.
Man, you know what? Not to cut you off. Remember, we just said you told me that last week when we was just
Yeah.
talking about all that shit. And then I saw that on. I don't know if that was. I think that was Kenyon Martin them saying that shit. I'm
Hmm.
like, damn. I said this nigga Nick just said this shit, but you know what I'm saying? Like the
And so
trainers and all that shit, cool. But you know what I'm saying? You gotta get out here and play.
you got to play. You got to play because you know what playing did is problem solving. No problem. It's problem solving. So when we played 21. You know what I'm saying? But just like you said, when you play Killer Man, it's problem solving. You're figuring out how to get to the touchdown. You're figuring out how to score on two, three people. You just going through drills. What is that? That's not really problem solving. Yeah, you may know how to
Yeah.
dribble, but when conflict come in front of you, what you gonna do?
And see, and then when you doing all these drills and shit, you looking for perfection.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Making sure you do this drill right and all this. Okay, that cone standing still. What
Exactly.
happened when that defender? What happened when you dribbling and that defender step the opposite way that you think they gonna step? Do you got that ball on string enough where you can make an adjustment?
Exactly.
Because this cone ain't gonna make you have to do that.
Right. And that's why I like what Chico doing with his son. See, his son plays basketball games. You know what I'm saying? Now Chico go and do like the fundamental stuff with him and stuff, but most of his fundamental stuff is game related. I can say
Yeah.
that about him. Most of his stuff is game related. He makes sure he put him in game time situations, even in his training. Well, I'm taking Nick to training where it's just like make sure you dribble past this cone, make sure you can put the ball between your legs, make sure you can dribble two balls at one time, do stuff like that. But okay, what is that teaching you when it got to do when a game comes in your face? Because when I put him into that what's it called, that Mac Irvin fire stuff,
Hmm.
dude, it was like deer in headlights. Even though he was athletic, he can dribble, but he didn't know the game. It made him look like he was 10 times worse than those kids out there because those kids knew how to play the game. And Nick was just
Yeah.
athletic that knew how to dribble.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
man.
That shit definitely it's definitely a difference when you know how to play.
Yeah. When you know how
You
to play
know,
the
of
game.
course, you need some drill time, some skill
Yeah.
time. You need that, but
But you got to have adequate game time.
correct.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's just like with anything, like what us with football, right? We can drill them and stuff like that and do the fundamentals of tackling and stuff like that. But you got to have game situations because what you going everything ain't gonna be the same. It's gonna certain situations gonna come up that's not gonna be the way it happens in drills. So what you gonna do now?
Oh, I say people move.
Exactly.
Cones don't.
Yeah. Like we teaching you how to tackle, but what happened if this dude cut back? Then what you gonna do? What happened if you got a blocker
Right.
right there? What you gonna do now? You know what I'm saying? You got to be in a game situation to understand what to do.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. And you see, like like I say, I think that was Gilman them I was listening to on that. And they was just saying that all these trainers and shit getting all this money for nothing.
Yeah, yeah, because you got to put them in game situations, and that's
Yeah.
how we learned though. We didn't have train. Who was training us?
The streets.
That's it. We ain't had no
Being
trainers.
outside playing, that was our training.
Yeah, we ain't had no
Shit,
trainers.
that was our training. Your trainer was going outside and going against that next block.
Yeah, that's it.
You
That's
know what
it.
I'm saying? Your guy, and then you figure out, okay, I know such and such a move. I'm gonna next time we play them tomorrow, I'm gonna do this different.
Yeah, exactly. Because
You know what
like you
I'm saying?
said, your losses, you know what I'm saying, your lessons come from your losses.
Hell yeah.
That's where it come from. Because you in your head now, like I told Nick, I said every time that you lost a rep or you lost a game, you in your head that for the rest of the day thinking about, man, I could have did this different now and we could have won. You know what I'm saying? Even with me in coaching, when I'm calling the offense and I lost the game, I can replay every play that I called. Even the ones that scored touchdowns, I'm replaying every play because we actually lost that game. You know what I'm saying? When we won, I wasn't thinking about the game. I'm not thinking about the game when we lost. I mean, when we won, I'm thinking about the loss. Even though some of my plays were home run hitters, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still thinking about the entire game. Like, man, I could have called that different. I shouldn't have called that play that time. You know what I'm saying? I could have called it, that's when you go back in your head and you can recall what happened. And you like, I need to do this different next time. When you winning all the time, what are you trying to recall?
Yep. You
You
ready to move on to the next game?
that's it.
When you won,
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
you know what I'm saying? You hit the gym today?
Nah, I ain't not today. I'm gonna probably hit it. I'll probably hit it tomorrow. I'm fasting today. Like today, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. I'm
So
fasting.
when you do the fast and you don't hit the gym,
I do hit it, but I don't do like I may do some abs and maybe a little cardio because when you fasting like that, you ain't as strong.
you ain't really got no energy like that
Yeah.
yet.
So I try not to do too much. Well, I don't want to get lightheaded and stuff like that. So I do a little ab workout, maybe a little walk on an incline on a treadmill, and call it a day.
Man, I'm sitting here looking at this cat. I think I told you that story. That cat had me working out with him and then
Hmm.
had me hiding from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, here now getting to it. I told he don't do nothing but calisthenics. You know what I'm saying? Your own body weight. Like right now, he's jumping rope. You know what I'm saying, man? Cut up like somebody drew him, man.
You should get into that jump rope, B. That
Man, I'm gonna
jump
tell you something funny.
go ahead.
I don't even know how to jump rope.
For real?
So,
Wow, I ain't know that. I ain't know that. Dang. 'Cause that's a
yeah,
great workout.
I don't even know how to do that, man. Like, every
Yeah.
time I always try this shit, I can't. Uh, oh yeah, I know that's a great ass workout.
Yeah, that's a great cardio workout. Or even if you don't know how to jump rope, jumping jacks.
Yeah,
Jumping jacks is a great
that's,
cardio workout.
yeah.
Instead of getting on that treadmill or that elliptical, you do about 4 sets of 100 and try to do it as fast as you can. That's a game changer. That's a game changer.
I already know. Hell yeah, I already know, man. I'm trying to get it in now, man.
Hey man, like you doing something, so that's you doing better than what most people doing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
So man.
Hey, another thing, I gotta stop playing with that pull up bar.
Yeah, we got one at work.
You playing with it?
Yeah, oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I
I
gotta
I,
stop
I do
playing
the
with that.
assisted one at the gym, and so the assisted one is helping me out with the one at work because the one at work ain't assisted. So I'm up to about five. I can do five nonstop, going all the way up. But I started out doing like three
On the assisted or the real one?
on the real one. So
Okay.
with the assisted, I could do up to like 10, 11 because it's assisted. But by doing the assisted one, it's moving my ones up from the ones that's not assisted.
Yeah, I gotta start doing that shit.
Yeah.
Who you got tonight? And it's not.
What's today? No, it's Wednesday. OKC.
So you Indiana ain't getting no more games.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that OKC gonna take this one. Indiana may win the fourth game, but I just got
So
OKC winning.
so they're gonna beat them in six.
I got. So you check our reels out on the
But but
page.
I'm gonna tell you something. If they come out and beat their ass again today, they might get them a five.
They could, but you got to look at it like this. So one of the dudes I had made my comment on our page. He was like, "Bro, Indiana did what they supposed to do. They took one game." I said,
And they did.
series wise, you're right. You know what I'm saying? Series wise, you're right. But it doesn't take away from the fact that OKC is a better team than Indiana. You're right.
Uh huh.
As far as series wise, yes, they did what they supposed to do. They barely did what they supposed to do though. Indiana has been losing wire to wire in 2 games straight. Wire to wire, 2 games straight. They've been losing.
And I just think I think Shea one of them. I think
Yeah,
Shea know where they fucked up that game one and let them back. I don't think he's finna let them. Like I think he's finna keep his foot on their neck, basically.
yeah. You got to. You got to.
I think
That's
he one of them.
Yeah, you got to. Because that's the thing with Indiana. Indiana is one of those teams that no matter what, they're gonna keep on coming. And if you take your foot off the gas like they did that first game, that's what happened. You see that second game, they never took their foot off the gas.
Hmm.
Every time that lead got down to like 12 points, that coach called a timeout. You notice that?
Hell yeah.
Every time that lead got down to 12 to 14 points, he called a timeout. And they came back out and went on like a 5 to 7 point run on them.
Yeah.
Every time. He wasn't taking no
Yeah, like you
chances.
said, I think OKC just better.
Yeah, they're just a better team. And that's cool. Like I'm a Chicago fan. You know what I'm saying? If Chicago took one of the games, I'll be like, man, Chicago took one of the games. But I'm not delusional. You know what I'm saying? Chicago
Yeah,
just got a game on them. OKC a better team than Chicago. Yeah, I may want Chicago to win, but that has nothing to do with what I want.
yeah.
We looking at basketball. OKC is a better team.
Mhm.
Only thing OKC can do is lose the games on for themselves, not because they're not a better team. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? That was my only argument. Like, dude trying to make like Indiana deal with it. Yeah, Indiana did exactly what they supposed to do. They won a game. You're not addressing what I said though. I said OKC is a better team than Indiana. Address what I said, not the fact that what you talking about series wise. I watch basketball just like you. I know what they did series wise.
yeah. I totally agree.
Yeah,
I
so
totally agree. Yeah, they made it a little interesting,
yeah,
you know, because I want to see the ratings from game two. Because they say the ratings from game one was weak as hell. Like I think people wanted to see. I mean, people thought that OKC was just gonna come out and run over them, and it wasn't gonna be no series. So I think with Halliburton and them winning that game one, that made people, what I'm saying, want to look at the series a little bit.
yeah, I agree with that. But,
You know what I'm
but
saying? So that's why I say I want to see what the ratings was for game two
the thing is, the ratings are never going to be better if it was like a OKC and New York.
in New York
You know, so
or Boston or somebody else.
exactly. It'll never be better than those ratings. You know, it's going to be a good because people who love basketball are going to watch it because you're actually watching good basketball. I don't care who out there playing. Indiana and
Yeah.
OKC play good basketball, and they have a deep team. You love to see that where you can get people come off the bench and they're gonna play good, solid defense. They're gonna get you points. You know what I'm saying? And they running the ball. It's a good basketball product out there in the finals. But it's just the fact that it ain't a high market.
Hmm.
So you ain't gonna get people watch it like if it was LA, if it was LA New York finals, oh man, the ratings would be through the roof. You know what I'm saying? If it was just OKC in New York, it'd be through the roof.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
too small a mark, especially Indiana. Indiana really hurt it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say I want to see if the ratings were better because I saw something that said that they were um, like it was all time low or the lowest since a certain time or whatever like that
Yeah, I heard that too.
with the ratings. So,
Yeah,
so
I
I
heard
say
that
I
too.
wonder if they improved because game one was actually a good game.
We'll see. I mean, that's something to look at. I don't know. I think the rate still was kind of low.
Even though it was a Sunday night too, you
Yeah, I
think
think it
nobody
was.
tuned in.
I mean, people tune in, but if you judging it from other finals, or you judging it from, if you judging it from other
And then,
finals,
and then you know another thing too, what kind of fuck it up? Like, like okay, like I just asked you when the game was. I'm thinking this today.
yeah, it's Wednesday.
Like nobody nobody is an Indiana fan. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Hmm.
No, you know people are now turning into SGA or OKC fans or whatever like that. So ain't one of the marquee superstars in there that a lot of people root for. Like if LeBron was in the finals, everybody would be arguing back and forth over him.
Hmm.
Or if KD was there or Steph or Tatum, ain't nobody really. I don't have no Indiana fan to argue with.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't
Yeah.
got no
You're right.
SGA fan to argue with.
I mean, I'm an SGA fan. I
I
mean, I'm
mean,
not.
I'm a SGA fan too, but
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
a,
saying
I'm an
like,
SGA fan.
right? He making people fans now. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But I'm saying like, you got LeBron fanatics, or what I'm saying when Kobe was playing, the Kobe fanatic or whatever like that. We SGA just not coming on the scene, so yeah, he's making us his fan. I like him too.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You
think
know,
I think they trying to make him a face of the league too.
SGA.
Yeah. I think they because people say Anthony Edwards, but his image and stuff don't personify face of the league. He's super athletic, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I ain't, I'm not on be on some gay stuff, but he's a nice looking young fella. You know what I'm saying? Game, game is crazy, but I don't think his game right now translates into face of the league, and his outside stuff don't translate to face of the league. Whereas SGA game does. SGA's outside life does. He's married. He's super in love with his wife. Got a young kid that he's taking care of. Anthony Edwards talking about, I'm gonna pay you upfront child support because I want to have nothing to do with the baby. Man, they not trying to hear that as far as being the face of the league. They're not trying to hear that.
Yeah,
And I'm not
yeah.
saying he's not a good. I'm not saying he's not a good candidate to be the face of the league because I like his game. It's smooth. He's reliable. You know what I'm saying? He'll walk in bucket. Ian, like I said on one of the things, the difference between Halliburton and SGA is SGA gonna give you 30, and he gonna defend at a high clip.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Halliburton, you got to have him sometimes on defense.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You can't do that with SGA. Uh, Halliburton is never going to guard your number one player. He's
What do you
never.
think about that? What do you think about that OKC defense? Since you're talking about
It's
what they
crazy.
call
It's crazy. They they handsy. They athletic. They physical, and
it.
it's across the board though. You got to think about it. I mean, even though Halliburton's 6'5", your point guard is 6'6", and lengthy. Your shooting guard
Uh-huh.
about the same size, is not taller. You know what I'm saying? You got a 7 foot in Chet. And then if you got what's the other white dude now? I can't think of his name. I'm getting a brain fart right now. Hardenstein.
Hardenstein.
So you got Hardenstein and him at the game at the same time, along with who your so that's your 4 and your 5. You
You
got
got Dort.
you got Dort,
Yeah.
who all defense first team.
Caruso.
Caruso all defense. You know what I'm
You know what
saying?
I'm saying? It's like the whole team from the bench on up. They all just scrappy and just
All of them. You ain't missing nothing. You bring Wiggins in, he gonna play defense. You bring Isaiah Joe in, he playing defense. You just mentioned Caruso come off the bench. He's all defensive team. You know what I'm saying? You're not really getting no drop off.
yeah.
No drop off. Dude, they put a dude in last game. I can't think of what his name is. I think he may be a Williams or a Wright or something like that. He got in the game, he killing. I'm like, this team is super deep.
Yeah. And
Any,
they not deep with stars. They just deep with effort. Like,
yes,
you know what I'm saying? They deep with young, athletic,
yes,
effort giving motherfuckers, man.
yes. And it's crazy.
Hard nosed motherfuckers.
And I missed out on the Casey Wallace dude. Casey Wallace, the guard that
Yeah.
come off the bench. He's super scrappy, gonna play defense, and he can score. You know what I'm saying? You got like I just brought up Wiggins. Wiggins has scored like 40 points a couple games throughout the season in the regular
Yeah.
season. So he can catch fire and you done. Isaiah Joe can shoot that
And you
ball.
know and you know what's scary too though? Them some of bitches still got all them picks.
Yeah. Yeah, close.
You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
still got picks to keep getting better.
Yeah.
So they don't necessarily have to build in the free agency like that. You know what I'm saying? Like looking for them. Man, they could just keep building and developing them young guys.
The only problem gonna come about it is when once you start gotta pay him.
Yeah, we talked about that the other day. Who really is gonna need a big bag though?
Jay Will.
Yeah, I'm saying besides him and you know what I'm saying, everybody else, who really gonna get who gonna get a superstar type of bag?
Hit Jay Will and
And
check.
see, and I'm all for niggas going to get their money, man. Go get your money, man. You know what I'm saying? I know how important championships is, but go get paid. But
They close at
on
4:30.
the flip side, on the flip side, look at Caldwell Pope left for the money. We ain't heard from him since. Bruce
Yeah.
Brown left the Nuggets for the money. We ain't heard from him since. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm all
Yeah.
for you going to get your money, man.
Yeah. But
You know,
my thing is this though. You have the opportunity to build a dynasty there. So do you take less money?
that's what I'm saying,
Do you
G
take less
Live.
money and keep that dynasty going? So say things they win this year. They only gonna have more confidence for next year. Their team gonna be super deep. You still got the same team. You know what I'm saying? So let's say things they win this year, they go back next year. I don't know when these contracts coming up. I really don't know. But let's say if his contracts come up next year. Do you take less and keep the team together? Because man, we still young. You know what I'm saying? We got all these pieces, even the bench players. Because some of these bench players can go somewhere and start.
Right? Yeah.
So do
Who
you
though?
stay there?
Who can really go somewhere and start though?
Wiggins can go somewhere.
That's
Wiggins
kind
can
of
go
what I'm
somewhere.
saying.
Wiggins can go somewhere and start. And he can go somewhere and start at least average 15 a game, 15, 20 a game. At least, but I ain't say 20. I'll say between 15 and
Now,
17 a
like
game.
Harris Stein, he can go somewhere and start.
Yeah.
Chet, Chet can probably start.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, a lot of them guys are doing good in their roles. Cause where is Bruce Brown?
Where's where's who?
Bruce Brown from the
I
Nuggets.
I have no idea.
You know what I'm saying? Like him and Caldwell Pope and them.
Yeah, I
They
don't
didn't
even
win
know.
and they didn't win and get lost in the sauce. But they getting their bag though.
I mean, if it's me, because you got to look at it like this: you already get millions to play ball anyway. You get paid most. You get paid more than most people make, more than most average people make in their lifetime. So do you say I just want a bag, or do you say I want to? I'm still gonna live
Okay,
comfortable. 'Cause I'm gonna
okay.
be a millionaire.
What about the people like Bruce Brown who already got the chip?
You got one chip though. How many chips you got?
One.
But my thing is,
But
I
but
want to
but but
create a
then somebody
legacy.
like him though, but somebody like him, this may be his only payday.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean. My
You see what
thing
I'm
is,
saying? Like
yeah, I
moving
get it.
like that, it might be his only big payday. So he got to go take it when they offer it to him.
But look. I mean, I look at it like this though, and I understand what you're saying, but you looking at a big payday, you already a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Okay, you get 10 million a year now. Okay, so I'm gonna take 30 million a year and go to a bum team. You know what I'm
That
saying?
20 million a big difference, man.
It's a big difference, but it's only a big difference if you want more. If you want more stuff, you already a millionaire. You already can get pretty much what you want. What you want more stuff? You see what I'm saying? You already got a nice house. You already got nice cars. You know what I'm saying? Your family is already set already. This already
So let
set.
me ask you this. Let me ask you this one then.
Hmm.
Did you see that little rumored deal that they offering Russ overseas?
Yep.
150 for 3 years.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I mean, if I'm Russ, see, that's different though with Russ though. Reason why I probably would go if I'm Russ, because at this point in your career, you coming off the bench, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? They not really willing to pay you number league minimum. You know what
right.
I'm saying? Yeah, I'm at a different point in my life now. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, I'm gonna take that bread. And if you're not going to a situation where you know you're gonna win a chip, I mean,
And you gonna go play for $3 million
yeah.
and
Excuse me.
take all
Use the
that
bathroom.
scrutiny and take out, you know what I'm saying? All
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm taking my 150. I'm going over there and I'm hooping.
yeah, I'm with you on that one.